Okay, let's talk about a movie that shouldn't have worked, but somehow became one of the most iconic films of all time. Stand By Me. You've probably seen it, quoted it, or binged it on a rainy afternoon. But here's the thing, 40 years ago, no one, not Rob Reiner, not Stephen King, not even the kids in the cast, could have predicted this film would become the cultural touchstone it is today. And honestly, that's what makes its story so fascinating to unpack. Let's dive in. First off, imagine being Rob Reiner in 1985. You've just directed Spinal Tap, this mockumentary that's hilarious but totally absurd. Then you make The Sure Thing, another comedy. So when Reiner says, hey, let's adapt a Stephen King novella about 4 kids finding a dead body, everyone's thinking, wait, this guy's a comedy director? But here's the twist, Reiner didn't just want to make a movie. He wanted to bottle nostalgia itself. And I think that's why Stand By Me hits differently than King's original novella, The Body. King's version is darker, grittier. But Reiner? He leaned into the bittersweetness of growing up, the kind of stuff that makes you text your childhood best friend afterward. That decision to shift tones wasn't just creative, it was deeply personal. And that's where the magic started. Let's talk about the casting. River Phoenix, Wil Wheaton, Jerry O'Connell, Corey Feldman. These weren't child stars. They were kids. Real kids. Reiner admitted he cast them because they felt authentic. But what he didn't say is that their real-life struggles seeped into every frame. Wil Wheaton's performance as Gordie? The quiet sadness, the way he shrinks in his jacket? Wheaton's been open about surviving abuse at home. That wasn't acting. That was survival. And Reiner? He didn't force them to fake chemistry. He sent them to Oregon 2 weeks early to bond. He let them goof off. He told them, put that in the scene. That's not directing, it's curation. He didn't just direct a movie, he documented a moment in time. And that's why the friendships feel less scripted and more inevitable. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, River Phoenix. His performance as Chris Chambers is legendary. But here's what I find haunting. Phoenix was just 15 during filming. By 23, he was dead. And when you watch him in this movie, how he carries himself, that raw vulnerability, you realize he was never just playing a role. He was living it. He said Reiner knew how to bring the flavor of something to the screen. But what if that flavor was tragedy? Phoenix's death casts a shadow over the film's legacy. It's like the movie became a time capsule, preserving him at his most alive. And that's not just sad, it's almost cruel. Because every time we watch Stand By Me, we're reminded of what the world lost. Then there's the film's success. A sleeper hit? That word feels too casual. This was a phenomenon, $52 million in 1986, over $150 million today. An Oscar nomination. And yet, Reiner called it the richest experience of his career. Why? Because he didn't just make a movie. He created a mirror. For Gen X, this was their Great Gatsby. For boomers, a eulogy for simpler times. And for millennials like me, a lesson in how to grieve childhood. But here's the deeper truth, Stand By Me succeeded because it understood that growing up isn't about big moments. It's about the tiny fractures in your soul. The backyard fights. The stupid jokes that somehow define a friendship. The way Richard Dreyfuss's narration feels like your own brain trying to make sense of the past. That's not screenwriting, that's therapy. And now, the ending. Reiner and his wife were tragically murdered in 2023. The Hollywood Reporter article ends with that fact, almost as an afterthought. But for me, it changes everything. Suddenly, Stand By Me isn't just a movie about dead kids. It's a film haunted by the real-life mortality of its creator. When Wil Wheaton says Reiner felt like a father figure, it stings. Because Reiner didn't just direct a story about loss, he lived it. And maybe that's why the film resonates so deeply. It's not about finding a body. It's about finding yourself in the wreckage of time. So next time you watch Stand By Me, ask yourself, are you mourning the dead kid in the woods, or or the parts of yourself you left there? Because that's the question that keeps me up at night. Thanks for watching.